तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and we are entering the most delicate part of this Gospel today. We are reading the conversations recorded on 24th August 1882. And in between, as I told you, there was a subheading in the Bengali book, Guru Shishya Katha, Guru Shishya Katha, Guhya Katha. Guru Shishya, got it? শিষ্য আবার চলে গেল ইম্পর্টেন্ট জিনিস কোথায় চলে গেল কোথায় চলে গেছে মাঝে মাঝে ঢুকে গেছে হ্যাঁ এটা ঠিক আছে Look at that. Oh, I missed it. Anyway, it was like that. I have written here. Guru Shishya Samvad Guhya Katha. Guru Shishya Samvad, talk between Sri Ramakrishna and Master Mahashaya when they were only two together, alone as we said. And the topic coming in was very deep, secret, sacred, personal, and that we are reaching now. He asked about karma and Sri Ramakrishna explained everybody has to work, and he asked about realization of God, and Thakur told that the Vaishnavas tell Pravartak, Sadhak Siddha and Siddha Siddha, and he explained that we must come in relation with God, Shanta Bhav, Sakhya, Dasya Sakhya Vatsalya Madhur, and he described each bhav. Now it is at this point we are reached, and here M asks, when one sees God, does one see him with these eyes? These eyes, Charma Chakshu, the physical eyes. Now, in this respect, so many things will come to our mind. Let us see what Thakur says. God cannot be seen with these physical eyes. So the question comes in the mind, what about hundreds of incidents we have heard about devotees who had God vision? Was it not through the physical eyes? Point number one. Point number two, if it was by physical eyes, then did they not see God? These are the two possibilities. When we accept two things, that there are several hundreds, thousands of incidents where devotees have seen God. Now, add to that, Thakur tells that God cannot be seen by the Charma Chakshu. So, two alternatives stand before us. That all these thousands of incidents, the devotees had not seen God by their physical eyes. They had seen God, but not by these physical eyes. And second alternative is that if they have seen by physical eyes, then they have not seen God. Because Thakur is clearly telling God cannot be seen by the Charma Chakshu. So, for the second option, I will take an incident. Direct incident from a well-known devotee. In Maharashtra, there was a tailor family, and the tailor had devotion for God in the form of Vithoba. And every day when the food was cooked in their house, he used to serve it in a plate and take to the nearby temple. And after some time, he would come back to the house with that plate and some remnant of food on that. And every day it was happening for years. Now, he had to go on a long tour and he would be absent for about 2 months. So he told his son, Namadev, who was very young at that time, that from tomorrow, when your mother cooks food, you go and feed Vithoba. That is what he said. And Namadev believed that my father feeds Vithoba. So next day he took the thali and went to the temple and kept the plate before Vithoba, the image, and sat there. Then the pujari, priest of the temple, said, you go away now. You come after some time to carry the prasad back. He said, no, my father has asked me to feed Vithoba. So I must feed him. So he sat there for a long time. He started weeping, and then he saw a man, a person coming out from that image. And he ate that food. And this started happening every day till Namadev was feeding. Now, our question is, did Namadev see God or not? Did Namadev feed God or not? We get the answer by the following incident. That was the time when, under the leadership of Gyaneshwar, the great saint, devotees arose from all castes, lower and higher, and they used to assemble and talk about God. Namadev was, of course, a part of that. And Gyaneshwar was the second brother. Nivritti, Gnanadev, Swapan, and youngest was the daughter Muktabai. And Muktabai was, I would say, the wisest person among them. And Mukta detected that Namdev has a tremendous ahankar because he feeds God every day. Now, she wanted to expose this to Namdev himself at least, so that he will be corrected. Now, in that very party, there was a potter by the name of Gora. And these potters carry a flat piece of wood wherever they go. It is a sign, like the clerk carrying the pen in his ears, carpenter taking something in his pocket. So she asked Goraba in the assembly, Goraba or Gora Dada, Goraba Hisab, oh brother Gora, check which pot has been well baked and which is raw. Because the potters, after putting all pots to oven, after that they heat it with this flat. And by the sound they judge whether it is baked properly or not yet. And if it is baked properly, they keep it for sale. And if it is not baked properly, they put it again in that oven. And for that they carry this. All the other saints thought that some humor, some joke. Gora understood what Mukta wants. And he started hitting everybody's head with that flat stick. And everybody is laughing, joking, and enjoying that scene. But when he came to Namdev, Namdev became very angry on him. And you do not know how to deal with the devotees. At that point, Gora replies to Muktabai, sister, one pot is still unbaked. Now Namdev becomes furious. But what can he do? All of them are laughing and joking. So he got up from there and went to the temple and remonstrated with that Vitava or whomever he had seen. Oh God, they are all telling that one pot is unbaked. They are insulting your devotee. And from that image, the reply came, yes, Namdev, it is true that the pot is unbaked. Then Namdev said, why you have not made it perfect up here by now? He said, the time had not come. Now you make it perfect? No. You go to a nearby village. He named that village. There is a Shiva temple there. And in that Shiva temple, one person named Visova lives. You go to him, he will make you perfect. So Namdev had no go because the God is replying like that. He went there. There was a Shiva temple. An old man was lying with his feet on the top of that Shiva lingam. This was, though Namdev was devotee of Vishnu, this was too much for Namdev. And he started abusing him and said, can't you keep your feet somewhere else? He said, I am unable. I have become too feeble, it am unable. If you are not liking this, you put my feet in some other place. So Namdev reluctantly lifted his feet and whirled them and put them in the other pot. And wherever he put them, there was a Shivapindi. He again lifted, again whirled, and put in some other place. And wherever he put, there was a Shivapindi. Namdev was surprised. And he asked, "What is your name?" And he said, "My name is Visova." "So to you, God has sent me." He said, "Yes, God had already told me I am sending you." So you don't have any idea that God is all pervading? Simple thing. From Visova, Namdev got the knowledge of the nature of God. And Namdev, in his later life, became very famous for his Nirguna Bhakti. And he traveled throughout India and composed songs in Hindi or Punjabi. And in the Guru Grantha of the Sikhs, it starts with Namdeva's song, then Kabira's songs, and then Guru's song. Anyway, so we come back to the question. Narada had seen some deity. Narada had seen some person coming from that image. So what is the meaning of seeing God?
Namdev. Namdev had seen.
No, before this the talk has already gone of realizing God. So you have to see, means you have to experience God. What Namdev had experienced was a living person from the image, maybe a deity, or even if God, he was not aware of what that he is God. So the example that if you have seen by your charma chakshu, it is not God, I have given. Now the other side, where people see God, now that Sri Ramakrishna is telling in the next paragraph. If you read one line or two, you will understand. In the course of spiritual discipline, one gets a love body. So body means personality. In this apparent physical body, this body does not change into somebody, but in this apparent physical body, there develops a separate body, and that is the love body. Love body means body made of love of God. The material is not bones, material is love of God. Endowed with love eyes. I stop here. So, if they have seen God, it is with the love eyes. Maybe within these eyes, there is an inner personality. Bhagavati Tanu, in some scriptures, in Prashnopanishad, at the end, all the 6 disciples tell, Vipalada, Tvamina Pita, Brahma Sharirasya Janayita. Our fathers have given us physical body, but you have given us that body in which you have realized God. So maybe it is within this body, but there is a different personality. And with these eyes, they see God. So they must be aware of the personality of God. They must be aware of what is nature of God. Then that seeing is real, seeing is God. And that small incident comes, somebody's behavior was not good. And when challenged, he said that I have seen Sri Ramakrishna. And when it went to Swami Vivekananda, he said, he has seen the ghost of Sri Ramakrishna. He has seen Ramakrishna, but he has not seen the God that is Ramakrishna. He has seen a assemblage, that body. So it is like the ghost. So from all this, we gather about this love body. Now we proceed. Gets a love body endowed with love eyes. Eyes made of love. Love ears and so on. So the corresponding organs are there, made of love. And by that, one sees God with those love eyes. One hears the voice of God with those love ears. After this, now comes a very delicate point. Very, very delicate. And that is what Guhya Katha was the heading. One even gets a sexual organ made of love. Now, that is the English. He has not mentioned a male organ or a female organ. In the Bengali original, Thakur talks of both. Premer Linga Yoni Hoy. Linga is the male organ, Yoni is the female organ, and is telling even by love, there grow a love male or sexual organ made of love, a female sexual organ made of love. And he is talking to Master Masha, who has a male body. No, what I mean is that as far as our understanding goes, he is not talking that a male person gets a male sex organ and a female person gets a female. No. So is this not very strange? And because of this strangeness, at these words, M burst out laughing. M could not gather what he is telling. And it was very strange for him. Something like impossible. And he's talking not only of eyes and ears, but he's talking of sexual organs. So he burst into laughter. The master continued, unannoyed with this. Master continued, unannoyed. And he makes it clear, with this love body, the soul communes with God. Communes means has a, let us talk in plain terms, had a sexual intercourse with God. Now, before I proceed, let me tell you something personal. One devotee, I don't want to reveal, one devotee on phone once told me, not about this portion of Thakur, but some such thing maybe happened in that person's life, that there is such an experience of communing God in the sex sense. I said that it is not in any scripture. And I can't believe, because this is not in any scripture. The person used to have talks with Holy Mother Sarada Devi. So he referred it to the mother, and next day, again phoning me, the person says, tell that Swami that your scriptural knowledge is incomplete. there is such an experience. Then at that point I remembered this incident, which I had read several times in the Gospel, but I had not thought about it. But when Holy Mother through that person told me, tell him that his knowledge of scriptures is incomplete, there is such an experience. Then I had read Gospel hundreds of times. So this I remembered at that point. But then I thought, when Holy Mother is telling that it is there in the scriptures, she would not be meaning the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. She would not mean this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna when she is telling about scriptures. And then I started looking here and there, and I remembered the language of Chandogya Upanishad, 7th chapter, 25th section, 2nd mantra. And the topic is really about God, which the Chandogya calls Bhuma, infinite. It's not a person. Bhuma. And Bhuma is described as, there is nothing other than even like that. And to explain that, it says that he is above, he is below, he is everywhere. Now language has to be corrected always, because he makes it apparently separate from this other. So there it says, Athato Ahankaradesha. That means now we shall talk in terms of I, this other. I am below, I am above, I am everywhere. Now this may make us misunderstand by I means this personality. So in the next mantra, Athato Atma Desha. Language to convey the truth. So now we will talk in the terms of Atman, the real nature of this I. And there again, Atma Desha Eva, Atma Eva Adastad, Atma Upuristad, Atma Paschad, Atma Purastad, Atma Dakshinata, Atma Uttarata, Atma Eva Idam Sarvamiti. The mantra does not end there. Sava Esha Evam Pashyan, Sava Esha Evam Pashyan. That's Sadat. Seeing means experiencing like this. Evam Manvana, thinking like this. Evam Vijanan, experiencing like this. Atmarati, Atma Krida, Atma Mithuna, Atmananda. स स्वराट भवति तस्य सर्वेषु लोकेषु कामचारो भवति. अथ ये अन्यथा अतो विदु अन्य राजानास्ते क्षयलोका भवन्ति तेषां सर्वेषु लोकेषु अकामचारो भवति. Now these expressions, Atmarati, Atmakrida, are everywhere in many scriptures. And here we get new word Atma Mithuna. And Mother had told that his knowledge of scriptures is incomplete. So in Chandogya Upanishad it is clearly mentioned. Now let us understand these three words. Shankaracharya, of course, representing the Jnanis. First of all, he has distinguished between Rati and Krida. Deha matra sadhana rati, bahya sadhana krida. A body is the only instrument of enjoying bliss with the Atman, then it is called rati. And if some external means are taken, bat, ball, racket, field, hockey, then it is krida. So the question comes, how do they enjoy bodily without any instrument? Okay, it may be some what we call embracing or other things. But then Atma, Mithuna. And Mithuna, Shankaracharya tells, Mithunam Dvanda Janitam Sukham. Dvanda Janitam means produced by a couple. So I think more than this he need not say. But he has covered it. All the Atmarati, Atma Krida and Atma Mithuna. Tadapi Dvanda Nirapeksham Yasya Vidusha. Means as much happiness people get through Mithuna, this Brahmajna gets without couple. But why this word comes? Now in Sri Ramakrishna's teaching itself were two different ideas. What the Shankaracharya says here, Sri Ramakrishna describes when asked about the gopis' relation with Krishna, that by looking at Krishna, in every pore of their body, they used to feel joy which crores of times or thousands of times more intense than what is the sex joy. So this is the view Shankaracharya has explained here. On the other hand, the explanation in the gospel at this point is through this love body. He enjoys the conjugal happiness with God. So these two are different sets of ideas. And that for my completion of knowledge was told by the Holy Mother to that sadhaka. Tell that Swami that your scriptural knowledge is incomplete. So, very, very delicate. But Thakur is telling openly, though it is in private, though Master Masha alone is there, Master Masha has printed it. Master Masha has noted in his diary and later on he printed it for public consumption. So Master Masha first laughed, but then he has understood that this must be known to the public at large. Otherwise he would not have printed it. So, friends, now, little more subtle we'll think that God is realized in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the Nirguna aspect of God. There I, you, there is nothing. But there is the other aspect of God called Sagun Brahma. And this definitely is in the category of Sagun Brahma. Sagun Brahma, as I already explained, or Thakur has explained, is not lower to Nirguna Brahma. Brahman is Nirguna and Sagun. So some experience like this, some like that. And Thakur has given equal emphasis on both. So, now Atman. Atman we can directly equate with God. And this is an experience. If no other person comes in the mind, if other person comes in the mind, there is no harm. That is, Radha and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they used to have this type of experience, Radha with Krishna and Chaitanya being a dual personality within himself, the Radha would have this experience for Krishna. All the gopis had this type of experience with Krishna. And Sri Ramakrishna had the experience without which he would not have talked even. Sri Ramakrishna has not talked anything theoretically. He has always talked his own experiences. So now, some possibilities, or this is enough explanation. Some possibilities mean I have heard of a sadhak. You know, Gita 13th chapter, Prakriti Purush division. In a body, in the male body, in the female body, there is division of Prakriti and Purush. And I generally is associated with Prakriti. And Atman is the Purusha. So the I can experience, has experienced according to my knowledge, the Purusha in him experiencing, enjoying, if you like to call it, feeling happy with the Prakriti in this way. And because the Purusha is both Purusha and Prakriti, he can enjoy the Prakriti being Purusha himself. So we get the explanation of both these two types of sense organs. And then slowly, I came in touch with some people who had the double experience. That means they experience a person, say Sri Ramakrishna or Sri Krishna or some person, God. Not only some person, God, Sagun Brahma. And they experience that they have a double organ, those sadhakas. And they are with God with the corresponding organs. I think I have talked at great deal because I felt this is very, very important. And the importance I am telling, suppose some sadhak feels like this, he or she should not feel disturbed. It has nothing to do absolutely with the physical sex. Absolutely nothing to do with the physical sex. Because the love body is there. Because it is the love body which is seeing God, which is hearing God, which Thakur used to do always, and which is having this experience with God. So, if there are such sadhakas, they need not feel any doubt or what has happened to us, or are we lower or are we gone? Not at all. This is the highest degree of spiritual experience, I would say. So, we proceed. At these words, M burst out laughing. The master continued, annoyed. With this love body, the soul communes with God. M again became serious. So, when Thakur told it second time, then M understood the value of it and became serious. And he has noted this in his diary and has given us this food, which seems to be very important because Shankar has shown one side, which is his habit, being a jnani. And Thakur has given that side also. But this side also, scriptures telling us, even that hint is there in Atmarati, but the Chandogya clearly mentions Atmarati, Atmakrida, Atmamithuna, Atmananda. So in Ananda, there is no mention of other person. It is joy itself. Atman itself is Ananda. Master, but there is a big but here. As I said, they need not feel ashamed. The other side is that people having these physical ideas should not support themselves by thinking that it is something high. Just as people in the name of Radha and Krishna think of anything nonsense, similarly by reading this, they should not think of any physical sense. But this is not possible without intense love of God. That is, then only the love body will be there. Intense love, that another body grows within this body. One sees nothing but God everywhere when one loves Him with great intensity. So, in the other states of his life, he will not always have this, but he will see, and God not as a separate figure, God as the universe. God everywhere. When one loves Him with great intensity, that is the test of it. It is like a person with jaundice who sees everything yellow. Like, he does not have jaundice. Then one feels, I am very leaky. So, this leading into Advaita, or this is a side of Advaita. So, through this jaundice, he says that he feels, I am he. Example, a drunkard, deeply intoxicated, says, verily, I am Kali. That is due to derangement of the brain. But it does say, I am Kali. The gopis, intoxicated with love, exclaim, verily, I am Krishna. So, drunkard, for example, gopis for real example. One who thinks of God day and night beholds Him everywhere. It is like a man seeing flame on all sides after he has gazed fixedly at one flame for some time. Routine example which we can verify. After looking at a flame for some time, always that flame is there. All sides. Now, this example, master being trained in rationality, but that isn't the real flame flashed through M's mind. It's only an appearance. Sri Ramakrishna, who could read a man's inmost thoughts, said, he understood. One doesn't lose consciousness by thinking of him who is all spirit. It is not an appearance. By thinking of Chetan, God, always one does not lose his head. Who is all spirit, all consciousness. Shivnath once remarked that so much thinking about God confounds the brain. Thereupon I said to him, how can one become unconscious by thinking of consciousness? M. Yes, sir, I realized that. It isn't like thinking of an unreal object, that flame. How can a man lose his intelligence if he always fixes his mind on him whose very nature is eternal intelligence? Master, with pleasure. It is through God's grace that you have understood that. The doubts of the mind will not disappear without His grace. Doubts do not disappear without self-realization. But one need not fear anything if one has received the grace of God. It is rather easy for a child to stumble if he holds his now absolute surrender, dependence on God, receiving the grace of God. He exemplifies beautifully. It is rather easy for a child to stumble if he holds his father's hand. But there can be no such fear if the father holds the child's hand. We had similar talk about kitten contrasted with the monkey children. A man does not have to suffer anymore if God in His grace removes his doubts and reveals Himself to him. God reveals Himself to him. Tasya sa atma vivrunute tanung swam Kathopanishad. To such a person, the Atman reveals its own nature to him. But this grace descends upon him only after he has prayed to God with intense yearning of heart and practiced spiritual discipline. The mother feels compassion for her child when she sees him running about breathlessly. She has been hiding herself. Now she appears before the child. But why should God made us run about? Thought him. Immediately Sri Ramakrishna said, it is His will that we should run about a little. Then it is great fun. God has created the world in play, as it were. As it were, this is one of the way of expression. This is called Mahamaya, the great illusion. Therefore, one must take refuge in the Divine Mother, the cosmic power itself. It is she who has bound us with the shackles of illusion. The realization of God is possible only when those shackles are removed. So, severe. The Master continued, one must propitiate the Divine Mother, the primary energy, in order to obtain God's grace. God Himself is Mahamaya, who deludes the world with her illusion and conjures up the magic of creation, preservation, and destruction. She has spread this veil of ignorance before our eyes. We can go into the inner chamber only when she lets us pass through the door. Living outside, we see only outer objects, but not that eternal being, existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. Therefore, it is stated in the Purana that deities like Brahma praised Mahamaya for the destruction of the demons Madhu and Kaitava. They themselves could not. They asked Mahamaya to do. Shakti alone is the root of the universe. That primal energy has two aspects. I think we stop here. Yes. Om Tava Kathāmritam. Let me announce. There is an announcement that next week is Diwali week. So And in local, Thursday is the Bhratruditya. So, we will resume our classes on Friday. After today's class, the next class will be on October 28th, Friday. Okay? Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibirīditam Kalmashāpaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhuvi Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanam.